Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to Comic Crash, my little show on the internet where we talk about comic books and stuff. And today, the stuff we're talking about is actually a viewer-requested topic. We're talking about Superman's tidy whities. Which, first of all, they're called trunks, and we're going to keep calling them trunks because that's just... it feels better. It feels a little bit better. Superman's character design is extremely iconic. Like, you see Superman, you instantly know who he is. The red cape says a lot, the blue outfit says a lot, the red S inside the diamond, it says a ton. The red boots, they're just super iconic. And on top of all of it, you have the red trunks. And everyone recognizes these red trunks, and everyone makes fun of the red trunks. Like, I don't know if I've ever heard of any other character design element getting more flack and more jokes made about it than Superman's trunks. So today we're going to dive deep. We're going to investigate, where did the trunks come from? Where are they going? Should they still be there? Should they still belong? And can Superman's character design still work without them? Lots of questions to answer. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the history of these things first. The superhero costume that you and I both know and love, the tights, the boots, and the trunks, actually comes from circus strongmen from the 1930s. Now, circus strongmen were regarded as the toughest, strongest, most manly of men that you could find anywhere. These were guys who did remarkable feats of strength on the stage or in the ring for everyone to see, and people absolutely fell in love with these guys. And their costume ultimately ended up kind of representing that kind of strength and that kind of chiseled physique that people associate with superheroes back in that time. Now, the costume that these circus strongmen wore was super practical. You had the boots, which provided a lot of grip for when they were, hoisting heavy items and they didn't shuffle around. They had the tights, which allowed them a lot of freedom of movement. The trunks, they serve a different purpose. You see, the tights don't hide a lot. Not even close. And so the trunks were there to try and make the strongman feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more modest, feel like they were not showing off more than what they were intending to show off. And this isn't super out of the ordinary either. Even today, if you look at athletic wear for men and you look at specifically things like running tights or men's leggings or items like that, you'll often see them paired with gym shorts or athletic shorts for the same purpose, to kind of provide a little bit more modesty for the wearer. Thing is though, the trunks really aren't today's iconography. We don't associate them with strongmen. We don't really associate them with working out. We don't associate them with bodybuilders. We associate them with superheroes. The source material for the trunks has now become what the source material inspired. And not only that, we don't see them as just superhero stuff, we see it as retro superhero stuff. Superhero costumes for the past several decades have kind of evolved to, the magic high-tech armor that doesn't make any sense at all but is still somehow there, nanotechnology or whatever they want it to be. You've got paramilitary where, it's a lot of bulletproof vesting, it's a lot of straps, it's a lot of belts. You have even casual clothing. T-shirts and jeans has been a popular costume for a very long time now. And interestingly enough, throughout his history, Superman has tried basically every other iconic superhero type costume, but always goes back to the trunks and the tights and the cape from, the 1940s. And not only that, not only does he go back to the trunks, but comic book writers and artists keep trying to find ways to make the trunks cool and relevant. They're actively trying to make this article of clothing that no one has really seen in active use since, the 70s be cool again. In the 1986 Superman reboot, from the Man of Steel miniseries, we learned that the trunks were added to the costume because Jonathan Kent was inspired by the old superheroes of the World War II era, and they had trunks, and so he added trunks to Superman's costume. In Superman Birthright, we learned that the trunks were part of Kryptonian fashion, and so they added them to the costume for that reason. Probably the silliest was in Action Comics 1000 when Brian Michael Bendis tried to make the trunks look like, as iconic as the S-Shield. He was trying to give it some kind of specific moral meaning behind them, which I kind of thought was a little bit silly and a little bit heavy-handed. Not gonna lie. Still love you, Bendis. Your work is fantastic. I love it. And then you have the movies. Apparently, Man of Steel, before that movie was released, Zack Snyder looked at hundreds and hundreds of costume designs for Superman that included the trunks, and ultimately decided not to include them because he didn't feel like it fit the universe that he was building. Or you have the canceled J.J. Abrams Flyby movie, or the Superman Lives movie that was canceled, and both of those tried really, really hard to specifically not have the trunks in the movie, to have no trunks on the costume.
The only thing is, what was wrong with the original costume was that he wore his underpants on the outside.
And then you have Superman Returns, where the creators of that one said that the trunks were super important to be in the movie. And even now, if you look at Superman's most recent appearance, the Henry Cavill appearance in Shazam, you can see that they're starting to grow trunks almost. There's a lot more red creeping in that area. And the debate continues into comics. A lot of people will say that it helps identify the character when they're drawn at a distance and they're drawn very small. Some people say that it helps split up the red and blues. Other people say that with the advances in digital art and the advances in printing technology, that we don't need to have some kind of split there because we can recognize Superman from a distance very easily now. And my opinion, my thoughts on the costume, my thoughts on the trunks, I'm very split. I do think that the trunks are kind of out of fashion. I do think that it's a very old style to be trying to apply to superheroes. If Wolverine tried to get the trunks back, it wouldn't work as well. If Batman tried to get them, it might work for a little bit, but they're going to change the costume again in a couple of months and then they're going to be gone. But for Superman, it kind of works still. It still seems to work for Superman. I don't know if it's because we've just always seen him drawn that way. I don't know if it's because he's rarely ever had a real costume change that's had any kind of staying power, but it still kind of works for him. I don't think it's essential though. I think that you can definitely get rid of the trunks and it still works just fine. If we look at the costume from Superman and Lois, the CW series, I think it's pretty clear that the costume still really works without the trunks. And then the New 52 costume, I absolutely adore it. And the costume is so well designed that it became the big marketing push for Superman for years and years. You can still find merchandise with him in that suit. Heck, when they finally decided to put Superman into Fortnite, that was the costume they used. And they added trunks to it, and it looked really good, so it's I don't know. But the conclusion I essentially came to was this. I don't think the trunks are necessary, but if the artist wants to go ahead and include the trunks, more power to you. If you don't want the trunks included, that's just fine as well. I think it works either way, and I think that Superman's one of the unique characters where it does work either way. I don't think any other character can really say that they can take, this really, really, really old, antiquated clothing idea, and they can still use it, but they can also update it and they can modernize, and it works just as fine in any context for that character either way. So that's my thoughts on this. I want to know what you're thinking on this topic is. Do you prefer Superman with the trunks? Do you think the trunks need to go? What's your favorite costume that Superman's ever worn? And do you prefer cookies or cupcakes? I don't know. Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and until next time, thank you for joining me. have a great day, and remember to always be your best self. Alright, hey, you made it to the end of another video. Thank you so much for sticking around and checking that out. If you'd like, here's a couple other videos that I think you might find enjoyable, or Google thinks you'll find enjoyable. And if you'd like, go ahead and subscribe and like this video, and that will help other people find it, and you'll get new comic book content every week. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day.